I was looking at it from a different perspective because I was interested in specifically what he was saying about subsidiaries of the company. But, you know, this has become kind of interesting because now you've got short versus short. You've got spy versus spy. It reminds me a tremendous amount about Herbalife because, you know, I was on one side of that with the reporting we were doing when I was at CNBC. And it was just interesting watching different people just get different opinions. In the end, what I looked at was this. Look, he disclosed the short seller position. The report was certainly well over the line on what a lot of people want to see and what people will say. His reputation is tremendously on the line with this.
Yeah.
But in the end, the real question is he right or is he wrong? And we won't know. He says we'll know in 3 to 6 months.
Tom,
we'll know at some point.
What is your point of view on this?
Okay, so look, the counting of General Electric, which Mr. Markopolos is questioning, okay, and he's attacking the accounting, this is nothing new. This has been going on for years now. People have been attacking the accounting, and I think, in my opinion, justifiably so. KPMG's been the accountant forever. There's been a lot of calls to replace KPMG and get someone in new, get a new accounting firm in to look at their work.
Right.
There's shareholder lawsuits already on file. The Southern District of New York is already hearing a bunch of cases where the shareholders are suing, saying that the accounting is faulty and phony and being manipulated by the accounting firm and by General Electric. So Mr. Markopolos is just another hammer at General Electric on their accounting problems.
Right,
but we've known this for a while.
It's one thing to say there have historically been accounting problems, and it's another thing to say, as he is claiming today, that General Electric is bankrupt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, golly, it depends how you defend bankruptcy. I mean, look, they're over $100 billion in debt, and their market cap is a lot less than that, okay? So on some definitions, they might be bankrupt. And he's also saying, he's also added, you're right, that there are some additional accounting maneuvers and tricks that haven't been exposed yet, and so he's bringing up some new ones, too.
And Herb, I wonder, you know, when we talk about, Markopolos is very straightforward. He said, look, I have mouths to feed. Yes, I'm working with this hedge fund. Of course, the hedge fund has not been disclosed. Do we need more transparency about the profit structure of this, for example? You know, is he required to be, in other words, was the difference between insider trading, where their hedge fund could have already made a position before this was made public to everybody, versus what happens now in further share declines and whether he participates in those declines? What questions do you think regulators, if any, need to be asking?
Well, I think when they get to the issue of manipulation, I think manipulation would be determined if he intentionally put out this information, and he and the fund that he was involved with intentionally put out misleading and wrong information. I would find that hard to believe. But again, I just know what I'm looking at here. But I think that's the line. Remember, the bloggers, the activist short sellers, they've been out there for years. And the difference in this one is that it's GE. It's not some little podunk company over here a lot of people never heard of, or a company that I would call a not TV name.
Right.
Because this is going on all the time. This is just different because I think of the size and the claims that he has put forth. And
again, Tom, we've seen people come out from many corners to say, you know, while they're flagging accounting issues, that's not the same. The severity of what he's claiming goes beyond what he's been able to demonstrate. If you are somebody who's worried about the GE shares you own going to zero, about the pension you have, which again at least has a backstop, what questions should those people be asking?
Well, those people might want to look at the lawsuits that are already on file. I mean, there's so many claims of accounting gimmicks and maneuvers. You can put GE and KPMG into Google right now, and you can read about various unions and other groups have come in and been saying, look, there's a lot of accounting fraud. So this is coming from all directions. Mr. Markopolos is like the 125th person to raise accounting issues with General Electric. It's a serious problem. If I had money in General Electric personally, I would probably be out of it. I think you ought to be very cautious. It's dangerous.
All
Kelly,
that said, final word.
Well, I just want to say one thing. We've done a lot of work on a company called Wabtec. They acquired General Electric Transportation. That was a tiny part of General Electric Transportation. And what we were intrigued with when we did the work and trying to untangle it, and my partner, who's one of the great forensic accountants out there, and our analysts, they're pulling their hair out because when they were looking at GET, General Electric Transportation, which makes locomotives, it was like a black box. They were having trouble figuring it out. And we found inconsistencies in numbers that we couldn't get Wabtec to answer as it related to General Electric Transportation. So there's so much there that, he's on to, we all know he's on to something. You don't know what it is. it's a great one to follow.
It's a black box. It's not going to end up well, in my opinion.